Hey everyone, what's up? Every once in a while, I get asked what is the best build for a specific class, be either Fireteam or Predator, and because of that, instead of just having to link link all my previous videos talking about specifically all the separate classes and what are the best builds for each one of them, I decided to make this video which I'm gonna pretty much summarize the situation in regards to the current best builds, the current meta of the game, which is the same that has been for the last years. Nothing really changed. Everything is pretty much the same for both Fireteam and Predator. So to summarize the whole situation and what are the best builds for all the classes in the game, which they're gonna be pretty much the same thing. I mean, there's not much variety in regards to what's the best that you can come up with the classes because the meta weapons are like the same, the meta perks, meta specializations, meta gear. Like let's start with the bottom. Let's say Isabel, which is considered to be the worst class in the game. Well, the best weapons are gonna be, of course, Hammerhead or Saul's Sniper. Those are the meta weapons, and this you can put it on any class. Like, it's always gonna be the most effective ones. It's a shame that the fighting classes don't have like attributes that would make a specific gun be better than the other, depending on the situation. But in the case, the Hammerhead, Assault Rifle, and the Saul's Sniper Rifle are just way stronger than the other ones overall. The Saw is mainly because of the damage. In comparison to the other snipers, it just does way too much damage per shot, which just makes it overall better. And it hit scan, unlike the one here that is the Plasma Sniper that is projectile. Comparison to the other assault rifles, the Hammerhead not only does more damage than a lot of them, it has less recoil. I think the Gosser does more damage, but it doesn't have the underbarrel grenade launcher, which is very useful. So there's no contest here. The special guns, the rocket launcher, the LMG is no, this one is cool. I think it's okay, but it's still not as much as the Hammerhead. Grenade launcher and rocket launcher, they are good if you get a direct hit, but they are projectiles, so overall, it's just not gonna be as easy and as effective as the Hammerhead overall. So yeah, best guns, primary weapons, just the Saws and the Hammerhead. For the secondaries, the submachine guns were buffed in the last update, but it's still there is no contest. The pistol is still so broken. This is the weapon with the highest damage per second in the game. And if you have a fast finger, you can just fire it super fast, and the damage per bullet is very high, and it allows you to fire the bullets so fast. Just the damage per second that you can do, as you guys have seen in my videos, is just insane. It's just, to be honest, it's just way too overpowered, and it's... I'm still angry at Iconic because they nerfed the plasma pistol of the Predator instead of this pistol, and the plasma pistol of the Predator is nothing, it's not even close to the strength that this little pistol, this little fireteam pistol can do. Also, best option to put on Isabel or any class is always gonna be the second pistol, the 1011. Green Tactical is okay. This revolver is not anymore. It used to be good, I think in 2020, but then they're nerfed it. I don't remember like every single nerf, but he actually used to do, I think, the same damage as the sniper, but it was nerfed and, well, it's not good that good anymore. Green Tech's okay. Shotguns are still trash. Very good to kill AI against the Predator. At point blank is not that bad, but only against the Predators that are completely point blank. It's still like, it's not even close to the damage that the pistol can do at point blank, which is much higher. PDL, very annoying weapon. It can be very overpowered together with the tracker, but still, like, you only would use this if you're running ammo bags with support or using recon with tracker. Minigun, I mean, it was buffed, it's a little better now, good at point blank, but still, pistol is just like no contest. The pistol is just so overpowered in this game. Just put the pistol in any class and it's gonna be good, even Isabel. For gear, I mean, Sirats is like the mandatory gear that you should always bring. Grenades are good, flashbangs are like okay, but usually grenades or ACGs are better if you can carry them. You only use flashbangs if you don't have enough points to bring frag grenades or the ACG grenades. Medikits and ammo bags are usually a better option overall just for survivability. The scanner can be very good and overpowered because it allows you to find medikits and ammo crates in the map, so classes that can carry the scanner are usually better. If you can just carry, instead of bringing medikits or ammo bags, you can just bring the scanner, scan the area, you find ammo crates and medikits in the map because there are, in some of them, so many that it just makes it easier. And then for the perks, usually I would consider Thick Skin and Gearhead to be the best ones in the game, just because they allow you for higher survivability. Gearhead gives you a extra Sirat, so that's pretty much extra 100 HP. Thick Skin gives you 50 HP extra, which can be very useful for you to survive longer against the Predator if he's targeting you. Prevents you from getting one shot at it using the lighter class. If you're playing Recon or Scout, Thick Skin is mandatory. If you put Thick Skin on a class like Dutch 87, support or Dante, they become very overpowered. They just don't go down. And when you consider that there are classes that have other damage reduction passives or abilities, or you can also, there is another perk that does that. Like or support gives damage resistance to the other players, and Dante has damage resistance while running, Dutch has damage resistance while modded, and every single thing of those stats, they stack with each other, and then you put thick skin on top of it, you just become so tanky that the Predator, like, you just don't go down. The amount of damage that the Predator needs to do to be able to bring you down is just stupid. So usually Gearhead and thick skin, that's like the two best perks that, like, I think that in most situations you should be able to bring. For most players, these are going to be the most useful ones. Action here is good, for especially together with the pistol, because the pistol is very overpowered, and usually with the pistol you don't ADS, you usually hip fire, and action here makes it easier. So to be able to maximize the pistol overpowered mechanic, you can just put action hero. Most of the perks are not good, like all these ones here. Persistence, situational, is shuffle. I don't even pay attention. I've not used them in like years. Heavy hitter can be very overpowered, mainly with Dutch 87 because of the extra damage, but usually that's more against melee predators. If the predator is good, he's gonna probably be using ranged weapons, so you're not gonna get a good chance of using the knife. But against melee predators, as I showed in videos, you put heavy hitter on Dutch 87, the knife damage is so stupid broken, it's just absolutely broken. You can kill a predator with a knife faster than he can kill you with most melee weapons. Double time can be very good as well, especially in the scout, so he can get super fast. Or Dutch 87. Tracker is overpowered perk, but it's mainly more overpowered when you use it on the recon. Yacha Bane is okay, like it can help you a little bit, but I still think the thick skin is better. OW Alpha 20 is a good one, it can be helpful, especially if you stack with thick skin, but better ones. Weapons training, quick release, I think they're all good ones, but I usually use them if I don't have enough points for something better. Fast Hands, underrated perk, only 1 point, but it can be very good to be able to switch weapons. And I think it also works, yeah, it also makes you heal with Sirets a little faster. So for Isabel, this could be possibly one of the best builds ever for her, because she doesn't have much HP, so I would definitely put the thick skin on her. Problem is that she doesn't have enough perk points for me. I would put probably action hero here if I could, but since she doesn't have enough points, I'm just gonna put Fast Hands instead. Or I would say the other underrated class that I mean, it's underrated because it's just not as good as the other ones, so it would be Dutch 2025. It's gonna be the same thing. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about specializations. Oh, no, not you yet. Specializations, I mean, the ones that do more damage are usually the best ones. That's the summarization of it. The best one overall is Field Medic, which right now is only available on support. And yeah, they removed it from Dante, but still you have other ones like Fanatic, Sniper, Leader, Deadly, which are very good, because pretty much anything that does more damage is just going to be overpowered. Mainly because the base damage of the meta fighting weapons, the Sniper, Hammerhead, and Pistol, they are already so high that when you just buff them a little bit with any specialization, they just become even more overpowered. It's just insane. Scavenger is like meh. It's bugged. I think it's still bugged because the thing here is that it says increase the damage of weapons found in weapon crates. The thing is that if you take the weapon and then from the weapon crate and you go back to your previous weapon, it still keeps the damage buff, but it's still too situational. It's only like kind of good because it's bugged and they don't fix it. But anyway, Amphibious is like okay, it's fun. I wish the specializations were more like Amphibious, which is not about just damage numbers, because I think that's a big problem in this game, that everything that Iphonic added in regards to abilities, in many specializations, they are just related to increasing damage, and that's one of the big problems why the game kind of broke balance-wise when they added specializations. But anyway, that's discussion for another video. But I like the idea of like this specialization here, Amphibious, Hushdown, just now give it a different ability for the class, instead of just increasing damage and just making the game unbalanced. But Amphibious, I think it's okay, it's fun, so you don't have to. Sometimes I used to Amphibious on Dutch because I was lazy to mud up. I just wish to be able to mud up instantly. So you just jump on water, you are instantly mudded. Hushdown, you get a speed buff for killing AI. I think these are fun specs to have. But Sniper, just the thing about damage, because this game, it's so much about, despite it being like a game that is marketed as a hunting game, it's mainly about out-damaging your opponent. That's like the core gameplay here. There's not much in regards to stealth, hunting mechanics is mainly about out-damaging your opponent, so Sniper takes the win here. Oh yeah, next class, Dutch 2025. Best is gonna be Gearhead and Thick Skin. Like I said, the meta perks are the same for any class. You put them on any class, and it's just gonna be the same. You don't really change the builds much. It's just copy and paste for most cases in regards to gear, perk, specializations. If you're gonna use the assault rifle, you might want to use Deadly, but I think the leader is still overall better because leader is bugged, and that's another problem. Fireteam has a lot of bugged specializations. In regards to leader, it's supposed to only increase the damage of your teammates, but it also increases the damage of yourself. So increases damage of all 4 Fireteam players after the Predator has been damaged. They say here, damage targets are weaker to damage. That's pretty much like after the Predator has taken like even like 1 bullet from you, all the next bullet is gonna give 15% more damage, and Deadly is 10% more damage. And leader works for all weapons, including the secondary overpowered pistol, while the Deadly only works for your assault rifle. So, but leader doesn't stack. So one leader, that's all you need. If there is already someone else using leader, you can just use Deadly. But that is in case you have the assault rifle. If you have the sniper, you can put usually leader. But if someone already is using leader, you can put Overseer. Overseer is good. It's very underrated. Increases HP as you do the mission objectives. Good. Overwatch is more situational, but usually leader, Deadly, or Overseer, they are good for this class. Yeah, weapons, same thing. Pistol, sniper, hammerhead. You can put grenades here. You can try to put the self-revive. He has points for it, but it's not very good. It's very situational. I have won matches because of self-revive, but again, like, it's something that's gonna work only like once out of like 10 matches, or sometimes even more. But well, grenades, or that's pretty much like the best that you can come up with Dutch 2025. Next class, we can okay, the better Dutch. Dutch 87 is better than Dutch 2025 for some reason. It's a class which the only weakness is low gear. You can only bring either grenades or ACGs. You cannot bring medikits or scanners. That's like the only limiting factor, because everything else, it's a tanky class. Has more HP than usually it's more tanky than the Dutch 2025 Dutch, because of the mud damage resistance. It might have less HP, but because of the mud damage resistance, overall it gets tankier, and it can also do more damage. The hip fire damage is higher, and that's the kind of damage, like I said, that you're gonna be doing with the pistol most of the time. With the pistol, you always hip fire, so this is a class that can be very overpowered, mainly because the pistol is gonna do even higher damage than you're usually used to, and he's very tanky, which is why this is one of the most overpowered. I would say it's not as overpowered as Dante support or recon tracker, but it's for sure one of the strongest classes, no doubt. So Thick Skin and Gearhead, and you can put Action Hero in this one, so you can hip fire better, so he gets even more OP. So it's a very strong combination. Like, his only weakness is low gear, so you put this pair combination just makes him super tanky, more HP, more Sirets, be able to hip fire better, so you can do more damage with hip fire, which is already, he has the passive of more hip fire damage. For specializations, leader, fanatic are probably the best ones. Like I said, leader increases damage on you and your teammates by 15%. Fanatic increases damage and speed while you're below half HP. However, fanatic is also bugged, so if you get below 50% HP and you heal with Sirets, you're gonna keep the damage buff, which is a bug. A lot of people do this. I mean, it's very like, I see a lot of fighting players doing this, and they think it's like, it's not like exploiting a bug, but you're actually doing it, because the damage and speed buff is only supposed to exist while you're below 50% HP. If you can keep the buff while you have over 50% HP, then the specialization is not working as intended. It's bugged, it's still bugged, it's a mess. Reckless is also bugged in a different manner, which I'm not gonna even talk about here, but it's a problem. Like, you have this class, and out of these 4 specializations, 3 of them are bugged. Reckless, it's more situational. You get 15% damage buff after you get hit damage. It's okay, but when you use the bug, it becomes even more overpowered. Leader is bugged, Fanatic is bugged. Amphibious, I think it's the only one that it would be fair to use here. But the other 3 are overall better, just because they are all related to the increasing damage. Let's see, Dante, the pay-to-win class of this game. Fanatic would be the best option right now. Comms is like just okay. Rushdown, not so good. Unleashed is good if you're gonna use explosives. It can be fun, but overall, just Fanatic is overall better, because there's the bug that you can increase not only your speed and damage, even while at full HP. Unleashed is just, you have to rely more on using explosive weapons, and if you're gonna run the meta, it's gonna be a sniper pistol. You're not gonna use explosives. You can bring grenades here, but I think that on Dante, I think bringing scanner is better, which is what makes him so overpowered. He has absolutely no weakness. Dutch to 87 at least has the weakness of not having low gear, so it kind of it screws up his survivability a little bit. But that's if you're playing alone. If you have teammates that are bringing medikits, scanners, other people using Dante support and Dutch 87, like it's not gonna really affect the weakness. With scanners, you can find ammo crates in the map, you can find medikits in the map, so you just bring this with Dante, so your survival is gonna be much higher. And same thing here, you can put gearhead, thick skin, and fast hands, and you're just not gonna die. You're just because I play with Dante and I tested this. Like, all you have to do is start running, because he's already very tanky. He's gonna have I think 185 HP with this thick skin, and he has the passive of a sprint damage resistance. So when you start running, you get 20% less damage. So it's very hard for the Predator to bring you down, especially if you use your turrets or being attacked. And if you have a support, which is gonna give 20% more damage resistance, you just become super tanky. This build here is very overpowered. You might not even need thick skin. You can bring maybe action hero if you want to shoot better with the pistol. You can bring I don't know, double time if you have points. Double time is also good, so you can move faster. Because Dante is the one class in the game that doesn't have any weakness. He's like a faster scout that is tankier, or a Dutch 87 that can carry more gear and do a little less damage, but like you don't need that much more damage as the Fireteam anyway. So Assault, the standard class in the game, is gonna be the same thing. Like it's just copy and paste of the best builds. Wait, my weapon wheel here. I mean, with the wheel and the mouse is kind of screwed up, so I can go. Okay, wait. Thick skin, same thing. I was trying to move this with the wheel of my mouse, but the wheel with mouse is kind of breaking. This is also another good build with Assault. I think that Fanatic is still going to be overall better, because this works with both weapons. It's bugged, you increase also speed. So usually, if you're going to use the Sniper, I usually use Fanatic instead of Deadly. And it's going to be the same thing. Thick skin, gearhead, the meta weapons, the gear like this. Scanner, if you already have one with scanners, someone else can bring medikits. But it's pretty much the same thing. Recon is a little bit different if you want to make it OP. You bring Gearhead, the thick skin, because he has enough perk points, and he has enough perk points to bring Tracker. And then you put Tracker here, and now you have a wall hack in the game, or you have an in-game wall hack. He's the only class that has increased spot duration. And together with Tracker, I think the standard spot duration for the Predator in this game, when you spot it, it's 5 seconds. With Recon, it's 7 seconds because of the passive. If you put Tracker, it increases by 2 more seconds, so that's 9 seconds that the Predator is going to be spotted. Sniper and Spotter are the best specialization. I usually run Sniper for the damage, but if you can have, like, if you're gonna running like multiple recons, you can have one bring Spotter just to make the Predator's life miserable, because he's gonna just be moving slower, so it's easier to hit. But it doesn't stack, so you can just have max one Spotter on the Fireteam. So either Sniper or Spotter are good options. Gear, he has less gear, but still, like, just is still, if you, it doesn't really matter as long as you have teammates that are bringing scanners or medikits for you. So you can just bring ACGs or grenades. Anything of this works. This is always like this. If the class has low gear points, you're either gonna put grenades or flashbangs. If the class has more gear points, first thing that I would always put is the scanner. If we have more points in case of the support, just put more medikits. Usually it's gonna help the Fireteam more. So, Scout. Scout is the case for very low gear. So you put field Sirats, which always put on. Put this gear on every single class. Flashbangs. The weapons are gonna be the same one, especially the pistol, because this is I think it's the only class that has duelist, which increases damage and increases ammo, specifically for the pistol. So this is like the one class that you always gonna want to use the pistol anyway. I mean, you want to use the pistol in every class, but this one is even like a little bit more. The other ones here are just okay. They're not really good. I mean, I wish, like I said, that more specializations were like these ones, that they're not related to increasing damage with a weapon, you know. I mean, you get a damage boost for disabling a comp alarm, but it's not OP, you know. I think that the OP specializations are a problem in this game. But anyway, duelist, scout, always duelist. Thick skin, so you don't get one shot because he has low HP. This is the one class that I don't put gearhead, because I think that this combination here is just overall better because he's already the fastest class in the game. Then you put double time on top of it, he just gets super fast. Like this is the combination that I like to use it on Scout, because if you're gonna use Scout, you're gonna want to chase the Predator. You're gonna want to go after him and just make his life miserable. That's usually, if you want to survive longer, just use another class. Scout is mainly for fighting the Predator up close and chasing him, trying to prevent the Predator from healing, and double time helps this. It's more risky because you don't have Gearhead and you have low HP, but usually Scout is specifically for those players that want to just chase the Predator down. Action Hero helps so you can hip fire the pistol better, so you can maximize the damage, and that's pretty much it. Support, the very tanky, wait, wrong slot. The tanky class in this, yeah, here. Field Medic is the best specialization in the game. So you can revive your teammates super fast. Always being a problem. Otherwise, you can use Leader, which is also good. Overseer is also okay, but Field Medic would be the best option for the support class. He has low perks, so you can either put Gearhead or Action Hero, so you can have more gear, which is one of the things that the support can bring a lot. You can bring three threats, 3 scanners, 3 medikits. Just helps a lot with survivability of the fireteam. And with Gearhead, you're gonna have 3 turtles in Action Hero, so you can hip fire better with the pistol. Otherwise, you can just put Thick Skin instead, so you can have 200 HP and just be super tanky. And you can put Fast Hands, so because you only have 1 point left, so I would probably put Fast Hands here. But either of these builds are very overpowered. Support is already overpowered on its own, just because of this one, thin proximity damage resistance. Your teammates are gonna have 20% damage resistance, so it's gonna be harder overall for the Predator to bring anyone in the team down. And that includes, if you have like 2 supports, they can give damage resistance to each other. This one doesn't work for yourself, but as long as you have like 2 supports, they're gonna give damage resistance to each other. And if you have Thick Skin, I think they're gonna have, if the Predator is gonna have to do like 240 damage to be able to bring you down. It's just a lot. The Operative, same thing. I mean, he cannot bring, he has lower perk points, so he cannot bring Gearhead and Thick Skin together. I think most times I use Gearhead on him, but because you can use this one here, so you can take less damage from the Predator, because the Operative already takes 10% less damage by the Predator by default. So just so you can be a little tank, you can put this, or you can put Fast Hands since you only have 1 point left, or you can put Thick Skin in here, or you can put Thick Skin, Action Hero, or you can also put Double Time. But I think Thick Skin is overall better. This is also a good build. He has more gear points, so this is one class that I always like to bring to Scanner, and you can bring grenades as well. So you can bring something for the damage, something to help the fireteam as a whole. And for specializations, either Sniper or Spotter, okay. Usually I bring a Sniper on him. And these are pretty much like the best builds for all the fighting classes on this game. Like I said, perks and gears, it's pretty much the same thing. Weapons are always the same. If you're gonna go for the best ones, it's always the same thing. For the Predators, yeah, let's start with Jungle Hunter. And it's gonna be pretty much this as well. I mean, the perks, gear, perks, and weapons for every single Predator class, if you're gonna go for the best one, it's gonna be pretty much the same. I mean, for some classes, you can be good for you to use Detail Lens. Not this one because it doesn't have enough energy for it. But if it's like a class that has a lot of energy, you can put Detail Lens so you can use more Plasma Caster. But this is only good for day maps. If you're playing on a night map, this perk is useless, so you might as well just put downrange instead. But if you're gonna play in a day map, you can just put Detail Lens on the classes that have a lot of energy, and it can be very effective. But otherwise, it's always going to be downrange, medic, and large punch. If the class doesn't have enough points for this combination, which is 11, then you can sacrifice one of these perks and you just put probably protection instead. Because, again, the night maps are a big variable. And you don't want to lose your mask. You really don't want to lose your mask in night maps. So if the class doesn't have 11 perk points at least, you can put protection. But this is going to be the case for pretty much everything. The meta gameplay for the Predators are ranged gameplay, ranged weapons, so downrange works with that. Medikit and large punch together, they work very well because it gives you 4 medikits, so you don't have to always rely on pigs, you have more options to heal. And medic allows you to heal faster, and this is useful because you can get back into the action faster because time is against you when you play as the Predator. You need to be always fighting the fireteam so they don't speedrun the mission. So if you can heal faster, that's better. Also, if the Fireteam wants to chase you down and kill you, if you can heal faster before they reach where you're healing, that is also better. So this combination here is pretty much the best thing. It has been the best thing ever since, I think fall of 2020. Pretty much. So it's been like almost 4 years that this is the meta combination. And for gear, you always want to bring preferably traps instead of the other one. They don't even have much gear in this game, so there's not many options. Like healing kits is like mandatory because you need to heal. If you don't have healing kits, you have to rely on pigs, and the Fireteam can just camp at the pigs and prevent you from healing. So always bring medikits. After medikits, beer traps are the most useful ones, and you can have 2 more with large punch, that is good. But for the classes that don't have enough points for traps, either motion detectors or audio decoys are okay, but like it doesn't really matter. They are more situational, but usually beer traps are better. And for the weapons, Smart Disc is the best weapon in the game if you have low ping, so you can actually use it. If your ping is high, it's not going to be very effective because the disc is going to be lagging a lot while it's flying. So you might want to bring maybe the combo stick, but the combo stick is mainly good if you want to throw it. For melee, it's not very good. Secondary weapon, I'm always bringing the bow now. Before they nerfed the pistol, I was mainly the pistol, but since they nerfed it in the last patch, I just went back to the bow. I think the pistol before the nerf was a little bit better, just because you don't have to, you have infinite ammo pretty much. You have a bigger clip. So unlike the bow, you don't have to go back to get your arrows back. So I would say the pistol was a little bit better, but now they just destroyed it and just made it shit. So they decreased the damage. I think they increased the recoil, and they also decreased the clip size. So it was like a triple nerf. It was just shit. They finally had another viable ranged weapon for the Predator to use, because we have a lot of melee weapons here, and they are usually most out trash. The Alpha Sickle is the best melee weapon in the game, but it's mainly good for like 1v1s. If you're playing against like 4 people that are going to be shooting at you, it's not going to be good. You need to use ranged weapons. Alpha Sickle is usually a guarantee win in 1v1 scenarios. The Battle Axe is like, they nerfed it, it's like man now. After the Alpha Sickle, I think probably the Hook, the alternative War Club would be the best option. Here the Hook. But again, these are good weapons against like 1v1, maybe 1v2 scenarios, but against like 4 Fireteam players that are good and are shooting at you, you might want to bring the bow and just rely more on the Plasma Caster or the Smart Disc if you can. If you cannot use the Smart Disc, just use the combo stick for throwing. For specializations like this one here, Jungle Hunter is the same as Hunter, so Capture Hunter, they have the same stats, so you can, what I say about Jungle Hunter, you can also apply to default Hunter class, you know. I usually like using Tracker on him, because then I can always find the Fireteam, but Fervent is also good. I would probably put Fervent over Tactician, because Tactician is more situational, relies on people being trapped, not interacting. But either Fervent or Tracker are good. So best build for Jungle Hunter overall, this one, or Hunter, Capture, or whatever. Let's, I'm gonna start with the default, before the DLC spreads. Capture is the same thing, Hunter is the same thing. Scout. Analytic is the best one. Just always focus on scanning the Fireteam so you can get more damage. The same thing as in the Fireteam classes. Damage is always better overall in most situations. Unless it's Tracker, because I think Tracker is very useful in another manner. But usually the best specializations for the Predators, the meta ones, would be Analytic and Stalker, because they increase damage by 15%. This one is just focused on using Thermal Vision, which is a problem because Scout doesn't have that much energy. He does have infinite thermal, but still because you're going to be cloaked and using plasma, you won't be able to use thermal as much as other classes. So like he's like out of the classes to have analytic is not the best one. It's better to use City Hunter, Pirate, Celtic, because they have analytic as well. They have more energy. They have more HP, which is a problem. They have more, I think, they have more gear. Scout is just not an overall good class because he cannot carry traps. His HP is low, so you're kind of forced to put impenetrable, just so you can like. The problem with that, there are some classes that have very bad stats, and you can minimize these bad stats by putting a perk that makes up for it. Like, if you have low HP, you put impenetrable. If you have low stamina, you have to put adrenal boost. But it's just better overall to just use a class that doesn't require you for you to use impenetrable or adrenal boost. No, a balanced class, because Scout have HP in too low, so you need impenetrable. Berserker has too little stamina, so you need to use adrenal. And while Hunter, he has already like a good amount of HP and stamina, so you don't actually have to use these other perks to make up for his weakness. You just put the meta perks. So problem with Scout and many classes in the game is that you can try to run the meta combination, which is Medikit, large punching, downrange, but his HP is too low. You're just gonna get like destroyed too fast. You're gonna lose your HP too fast. So you are kind of forced using Penetrable to make up for it, which is why it's an inferior class. But still, weapons, same thing. If you can use the Smart Desk, like better option. Best thing that you can do with the Scout is use the Smart Desk so you never have to come close to the Fireteam. Yao Chabot, same thing. Plasma Caster is a good option, but he doesn't have enough energy to really use it a lot. Berserker is even worse. Like that's like really bad because not only he can even carry the meta combination if he could, because he doesn't have enough points. So I would probably put. It's a tough one. Like I can either put large punch and medic, so I can make up just so I can, because this can be very useful, or I can put adrenal boost here because he has very shit stamina. So if the Fireteam wants to chase you down, you're gonna need adrenal boost to be able to escape from there because you're slow and you have low stamina. As the last option, I would probably put protection here. Just so I don't lose my mask. And I don't have any more points. So I mean, if I'm gonna use a perk that only costs 2 points, it's gonna be this. You can put traps, motion detectors, but to be honest, more gear doesn't really make up for all the other bad stats. For specializations, I would say maybe I think in range it's probably the best one, because this one is also bugged. I think it's the only spec that is bugged for the Predators. Because if you trigger in ranged, you get to low HP. It's gonna increase your speed and stamina, and even if you heal, you can keep the buff on. So it's bugged, but it's not really OP. It's not really that strong. It just allows you to, like, it doesn't really help you killing the Fireteam. It just helps you at running away from them, you know. So it can be good because at least you can escape and not die when the Fireteam decides to chase you across the jungle and just bully you to death. But it's not gonna help you win the match anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But in range, probably the best option. Weapons, same thing. It's always gonna be this. Like, if you have a low ping, use the Smart Disc. Get good with the Smart Disc. It's your best option. Otherwise, put the combo stick and throw it. Secondary weapon, get good with the bow. It's always gonna be this situation here. You can try, maybe if you have high ping and you're not good with throwing, not good with ranged, you can try to go for the Alpha Sickle. Like, just put the Alpha Sickle here and jump in. Hope that you're gonna find like a Fireteam that is a little alone or a little further away from the others, because in a 1v1 scenario, the Sickle can kill someone fast. But if they're grouped together, it's not gonna work. But it's good to picking up like Fireteam players that are alone. Alpha Predator. This one is gonna be pretty much the same as Scout. You might want to use Impenetrable on him, so you don't, because he's a Predator class with less HP, and then you can put either downrange or medic has the other option. But again, it's gonna be the same thing as Scout. The light classes have the problem of having to require using Impenetrable, and they have low energy, so they're overall not very good. But at least this one can carry traps. This could be a good option, or you can put the Smart Desk. For the specialization, Assassin, I think would be the best one, because it counts for ranged weapons, or Warrior and Rutford. I think it's only for melee. Or only in melee, like I said, melee is not the meta in this game, so this Assassin can be very good if you manage to hit some like Smart Desk hits or Plasma in the back of the Fireteam, or arrow shots. Can be very good, but it's more a situation, and it's still Wolf is a better option for you to use Assassin than Alpha. Oh yeah, for people that don't have the DLC Predators, I would say either use Hunter with the build that I told you about, which I put it on Jungle Hunter, or you can use the Elder. Elder has Stalker, which might be considered the best specialization overall in the game, because it's very easy for you to control. We take advantage of this. Increase the damage while at full stamina, so just stand still, charge your plasma, and you're gonna get more damage. Very easy, simple, right? And it's good. He can bring traps, he can bring all the decoys if you want. Can be good in certain situations. The best build for him probably gonna be, I mean, you can use the meta build, which I think is okay. However, he has stamina in the low side, so you might want to use maybe Adrenal on him. When I play in private games against PC pre-made Fireteams, I would use this build. I would always use Adrenal on him, but I would play in day map specifically using this class with Detail Lens. This class here is great for this build specifically. Detail Lens together with downrange, because you can do surprise plasma caster shots. But again, this only works in day maps. Detail Lens is not gonna work in night maps. But if you're playing like private games and you can choose playing on day maps, or even if you got a public game and it's a day map that I'm gonna be playing, this build here is very good, because Stalker together with downrange gives you is gonna go up to 25% more damage with the Plasma Caster. Detail Lens allows you to for decreased visibility of the Plasma Caster laser, so you can do Plasma Caster surprise shots. It's very easy for you to just charge the Plasma Caster without having to worry about the Fireteam noticing that you're charging the Plasma right away. Because usually, if you're not using Detail Lens, as soon as you start charging the Plasma, the Fireteam is going to spot your laser and it's going to start shooting at you. Before you can even finish the shot, they're going to know where you are, so very good. This combination here was my meta one for Elder, and it worked in private games many times. I made it Elder in private games before they came up with the latest DLC classes. This was like my main, most effective build for private games for a long while. Weapon, same thing. Smart Desk Bow, great. Other... Now I think it's the DLC classes. And it's gonna be the same thing pretty much. Scar is one of the best ones in the game. Only weakness is low perk points. Everything else he got it. Best specialization for him, Stalker. More damage. He's pretty much like a better Elder. He's an Elder that doesn't have low stamina. He actually has very high stamina. And he has infinite thermal vision. His energy is like, I think, a little lower than Elder. But since he's one of those classes that have infinite thermal vision, in practice, is actually gonna be, you are gonna feel like he has more energy than the Elder, because the Elder has a lot of energy, but it's gonna drain when you use both thermal vision and cloak. While with Scar, he's not gonna drain or use thermal, so your energy drain is gonna be lower. He cannot use the meta combination of downrange, medic, large punch, but it's still like, yeah, I think that it's still okay, because he has enough good stats to make up for this, and then but you can still put protection. And in night maps, this can come in hand a lot of times. This is like I think for night maps, this is one of the best builds that you can come up for sure. Like best for night maps, you're gonna want to use protection so you don't lose the mask. Medic, large punch work very well together. Stalker already gives a damage buff to your ranged weapons. So, I mean, sure, it would be better to use downrange, I think, but still, like, it's not that bad. It's still one of the best builds in the game. Same thing with weapons. I mean, it's just copy and paste at this point. Weapons are always gonna be Smart Disc, Bow. If you have a high ping, you can use Alpha Seek or Combi Stick, but best option is this. Wolf, same thing. He has more perk points, so you can put downrange here. There's another very good build that I made with him, but you relied more on using the Plasma Pistol from branches. Assassin, best one for him overall. His specialization. The build that I think was very overpowered. I mean, it wasn't overpowered. I think that's not a word that you should use for the Predators in this game. But it was very good, and it was very effective against the Fireteam. Was using it would be like something, a tanky build, which I would stack Impenetrable and High Advantage together, and I would use the Plasma Pistol from the trees. I mean, it's not as effective anymore because they nerfed the Plasma Pistol, but back when the Plasma Pistol was better, it was a very good one. But this one relies on people that can play the entire game in the branches, and also specifically in maps that have a lot of branches. Which you can search for my wolf 3 master build. I think I call it that. Just if you search for wolf builds on my channel, you can find it. Which I would mainly play this on Overgrow. It's a closed map with a lot of trees, so I would just stand in the branches all the time, shooting the Plasma Pistol from above. And because of Impenetrable and High Advantage together, I'm much more tanky. So despite not having medic or large punch, you would actually make up for it. I have to rely on pigs to heal, and I cannot heal as fast, but being able to endure more damage from the fighting than usual was actually very useful. And in the branches, when you play like me, it's kind of harder for the fighting to be able to damage you enough, but it was a very effective build before the nerf TP. So I think that's still going to be working well against most fighting players, but like I said, it's very situational. You need to be playing mostly from the branches, and you need to be in a map that is close. No, that has a lot of areas which you can use the trees. Open areas, this is not going to be very good. Yep, sure, the same thing has Hunter. Exile. Exile is a tough one, because usually I would want to put Impenetrable here because he has lower HP. But if I put Impenetrable, I don't have enough perk points for pretty much like what the rest that I need. So for him, I would put Medic, Large Punch, then either modify reserves so I can have a little bit more energy, or protection. Always like this. Most perks here are kind of garbage, to be honest. Let's see. Let's talk about all the perks. And I'm gonna just... Wait. Damn it, it's not going up. Right now it's better. Branch Master is just like useless. You can move a little faster in 3, so what? There's just much better options. Floated, not gonna help you at all. Energy Cell is good, but costs too many perk points. Can be good in some classes that need that much more energy, but no. Impenetrable only in some classes. Light Bender, like, just better options, unless you only have one perk point left. Whatever reserve is good, but I think that overall protection, because of the night maps, protection is better. More XP, nobody cares. Larger sound indicators, nah, won't help you much. Fearless, like I said, more damage with melee is not gonna help you that much. Melee is not the best. Reduced cooldown, energy overloads, doesn't matter. Long jump is good for you to running away from the fighting, not good at helping winning matches. Impatient, nah, it's just like average, not gonna help you much, to be honest. High advantage is good only if you stack with impenetrable. On its own is not enough to make a difference. Hanging on, it's not gonna help you. Observant, also, like, there's just much better options. No, Adrenal boost only if the class has shit stamina, you should use it. Trapper, situational only if you are very good at traps, or if you use with the net gun, can be good, but because it's very hard to escape. But that's only good for 1v1 scenarios. There's just better options. Like Trapper can be very good in a 1v1. You just use the net gun on a guy in a 1v1, he's not gonna escape, but that's it. Ascender, nobody cares. This one, Heated, nobody cares. Fast Hands is like okay, but they're just better options, you know? There's just better options. I would put this on Exalt for the best build. Oh yeah, you can put traps on him. For the specialization, I think that usually I would put Analytic or Assassin, but I mean, I think Discipline can work very well if you are good with traps, because you're not going to be clicking. I think that if you are someone that is very good with trap, maybe Discipline can benefit you more than Assassin or Analytic, just so you can just use the traps from above. And then they won't be able to, you can just get surprise traps from the branches. But it's still, Bionic could be a better Discipline anyway. But I'm just saying, for the best build, you can try to use this, it'll be good. Or if you're not very good with traps, you can just use Analytic or Assassin for the more damage, and that's also okay. Wolf, I already talked. Mr. Black, you can put the meta combination, and that's gonna be pretty much it as well. If it's a day map, you can put DT Lens, because it's a class with a lot of energy. So you can do a similar approach like you can do with the Elder. Same thing. Best specialization, how to put Vicious, so they can bleed out faster, they take longer to revive. That's it. Chopper, it's this shit class. It's like a... Yeah, he shouldn't have... You see that when I select Copper, it shows that he has Stalker, but he actually doesn't have Stalker. That's like... It's a bug. It's still bugged. Another bug. I mean, without Stalker, I would probably put Ghost or Discipline. Ghost is the best specialization for melee, but maybe I don't think using melee with this class is gonna be good, because he doesn't have much HP. So you're kind of forced using Impenetrable, and then you only have 4 points left. I would probably put Large Punch, and then I can be Light Bender, whatever. But still, this is not gonna make much difference, because this class is shit, because low HP, low energy, low perk points. I mean, anything below 11 perk points I consider to be low. He can carry traps. That's the only good thing about this class. And if you put with Discipline, maybe you can get some surprise traps on top of Fireteams. But overall, bad class. But I guess this could be like the best option that you can come up with this class. Celtic, I like usually a DT Lens build with him, but you can also just use the meta combination of downrange, medic, large punch. Or you can put DT Lens instead, because he has a lot of energy, so he's... I mean, not a lot, he has a good amount of energy. Not as much as like Pirate or Scar, but still good one. Gear, same thing. You can use this. That's the best build. This. Or you can trade large punch for DT Lens if it's a day map. It's this as well. Falconer, another scout class that would probably be putting Impenetrable here. I think something like this. Doesn't have enough energy for DT Lens or Plasma usage, so I would put either Tracker or Assassin can be good. Focus is a shit specialization. This can be a good option, same thing. You guys notice, it's always like same weapons, same gear, same perks. It's always like the meta gameplay for in this game, it's just very limiting. It's always the same ones, like just always the same builds. Viking, same thing. Medic, downrange, large punch. He might do more damage for melee, but it's still not worth it. Not worth to make a difference. Maybe you want to trade large punch or medic with adrenal boost, because he's like a better berserker. He's a berserker with more perk points. That's pretty much it. And a better specialization. He can put vicious, which is not a bad one. Vicious. Best build for Viking would be this. Samurai, low perk points, which is a problem. You can put large punch, medic. I think that you might want to need adrenal boost, which is already a problem because you don't have enough points for it. You can put, and he doesn't even have enough perk points for more better stuff. So I would put protection because he doesn't have enough points for anything better. Instead of medic, you can put adrenal boost on him, just so you can move a little bit better. But if you're good with managing stamina, maybe you don't need it. Best specialization. I mean, if you're gonna use ranged fervent, would be better. If you're gonna try to use something with the alpha sickle, you can use ghost, so you can do more damage. But still, not a very good class. One of the worst ones in the game. So this is around like the best that you can come up with him. Maybe instead of the bow, you can put the smart disc here. Use the alpha sickle up close, smart disc from far. This could be like a good option for him if you really want to use him. Pirate, one of the best classes in the game. You can use the meta. If it's a day map, you can put Detail Lens here, which can work very well because this class has a lot of energy. So it's good for you to, you can use the Plasma Caster very well with this class. I mean, for day maps, this would be my build for it. Only weakness is that it's a little bit slow, the class. It's just overall average in a lot of stats. I would use Analytic on it, so I can get more damage, stack Analytic damage with downrange. Overall good build. Weakness of this class would mainly be it's a little bit slow. And HP is just average, but everything else is like overall okay. What's next? Oh, Emissary. He's like a faster Berserker with less energy. He has enough HP, so you can, but he doesn't have very good stamina. You can try to put this. Same thing with Samurai, pretty much. That I use it, or you can put Adrenal here. He's the class with the most amount of HP in the game. But to be honest, in practice, like you can feel like he can take like one sniper shot more than the other ones, but it's not enough to make such a noticeable difference. In my opinion, I mean, in a 1v1, you feel it more. Emissary, Amazon, the classes that have more HP, because it's weird because if you see it here, it shows that Mr. Black has more HP than Emissary, but this is wrong. Don't believe the in-game stats. Like here, it says that look, Copper, Scar have the same stat. This is a lie. Scar has much more HP than Copper. Copper has, I think, like 1,000, 1,100. Scar has like 100 and 1350. Maybe I don't know, but Scar has much more HP than Copper, and he has much more. He also has more gear. His stamina, both here appear as having less stamina than the Hunter class, the captured, but this is a lie. Like, Scar has much more stamina than the Viking, and yet here they are showing that he has the same one. The in-game stats are all bullshit, never believe them. The Emissary here appears having less HP than Mr. Black, which is a lie. Mr. Black has 1500. Emissary, I think, has 1650. And where is Amazon? Amazon has 1600, so she has more than Mr. Black, but still, in the game stats, or like same thing with Viking. She has more HP than the Viking, but here it says that she doesn't. It's just dumb. Best specialization for the Emissary, probably Enraged. You can use this. Probably the best that I can come up with the Emissary. Next one, Amazon. The best class for melee. I mean, if you really want to try melee, this will be the class to go. Because she's tankier. She has the best melee specialization, Ghost. And I think that's pretty much it. She can do a little bit more melee damage as well. Can be a good option. She cannot carry traps to weakness. But if you're going to go for melee, this can be one of the best options. She's already a little bit more tanky than the other Predator classes. If you put Impenetrable, it's going to get a little bit more noticeable. Large pounds and medic, so she can have 4 medics to heal fast. Like, if you're going to go for melee, this could be a good class to go. But I like using her more for ranged. I would use this instead, and I would just put, I would just use my old, because when the Amazon came out on the DLC, she had Stalker and Tracker, and I still have to load it for those specializations, because they later patched it and removed it, but for those of us that had specialization, we could still keep it, you know, but I wouldn't use Ghost on her. I would use Tracker instead, or Stalker, just so she can be used better for ranged, but that's how I would prefer to use the Amazon. Cleopatra, she's pretty much like a variant, or another Stalker variant, like the other. But she has low stamina, so I kinda would want to use Adreno her. This can be a good option. Put Stalker for more damage. Bring traps, motion detectors. Best build for her, same thing. I wouldn't use a Lens build with her because she doesn't have enough perk points to make it very good, you know? She has good energy, but if I was gonna make a Lens build on her, put Lens here, I wouldn't have enough perk points to come up with a good combination. So that's the only reason why I don't put Lens on her usually. Which one are we missing now? City Hunter. At this point, City Hunter is like a worse version of the Pirate or Celtic. He's pretty much like a Celtic or a Pirate with less perk points and less energy. He used to be one of the best ones in the game, like before specializations, but right now, I mean, he was actually the best class in the whole game for a little bit. When he came out, he was a hunter. He had 12 perk points, so he could use the meta of down large punch medic and downrange. And he had more energy than the hunter class, same perk points, and he was a little bit faster. So he was like a better hunter, a completely better hunter at launch. But then they nerfed the perk points, and then well, he just became like I think he's in the same level as the hunter class overall. He has more energy and speed, but he doesn't have enough perk points for a better combination. But that's, again, best build for him would be this. And he also has the wrist launcher locked in him. You cannot just take this off. I would prefer to put audio decoys, but the game doesn't let you. I mean, unless you kind of break the game for it, but for most people, you cannot unlock the wrist launcher, so you're kind of forced to use it. But City Hunter best would be this. Oh, we're missing Bionic. This is a good option for Bionic. He doesn't have enough perk points for the meta combination, so you can either use this. If you're good with traps, Discipline and traps work well together, or you put Stalker. I think for most people, Stalker is going to be better, but Bionic, one of the best options. He and Scar are pretty much like very close. He has a little bit more energy than Scar. Well, Scar has more stamina, but he's also among the S-tier best Predator classes. I think we're only missing Valkyrie now. Valkyrie is like a worse version of the Valkyrie, no, the Amazon pretty much. Just it's more like the Amazon is what the Valkyrie used to be at launch, because the Valkyrie used to have more HP and 14 perk points at launch, then they nerfed that, so she's now just like average. She's like I would call her like a hunter with less gear points, less HP, but more speed and stamina. But I still would prefer to use the hunter than her, to be honest. Fervent can be good if you're gonna play ranged. If you want to try to go for melee, use Ghost. But Hunter does a better job with her for ranged, and Amazon does a better job than her for melee. So if you're gonna buy a DLC, just don't buy the Valkyrie, just buy the Amazon instead. And I think that's pretty much it. As you guys could see, the best builds for all classes are pretty much the same. Like you're always gonna want to use the same ranged weapons, the same perks if you can. If you cannot use the same perk combinations, you don't have enough points for it, you're gonna put probably usually most of the time put protection in the third slot when you don't have enough points. Otherwise, you just run downrange medic and large punch in every single build, every single class. That would be the best option for every single one of them. But I think I covered everything. So that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, I know the video might seem a little bit boring because it just copy and paste, and I'm just repeating pretty much the same builds for every single class, but that's just the reality of this game. Like, the meta is the same. Like, the best builds for every single class in the game is pretty much the same. You're gonna be pretty much putting the same things in every single one of them. There's not much difference between the passive stats of the classes to actually make other builds work, so it's pretty much copy and paste. But well, I hope that I managed to cover in this video like the best that you can make with every single class of this game, both Fireteam and Predator.